Hey guys, this is Eamon. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the most important Google Ad metrics for painting campaigns. So these are the numbers inside your Google Ads account that you really want to keep an eye on, okay? I'm going to show you what they mean and what it could be that's causing it to be low, or just not where you want it to be. So this is what it looks like inside your Google Ads account. I recommend that you use this setup. You can click on columns here and then sort them so you can decide basically which metrics are shown when you go into the account. I recommend that you have them in this order. So you've got the impressions, clicks, click-through rate. I'm going to explain all this in a second. Your average cost per click. Then you've got the total cost. That's how much you've spent over the whole campaign. Conversions, your cost per conversion, your conversion rate, search impression share, and then these numbers here that have to do with the impression share. So I'm going to go through each of these metrics, and one important thing to keep in mind is that after I talk about each metric, I'm going to assume that the one before it is okay, that it's where you want it to be, or that it's good. So I'm going to point out why that's important as we go on. So I'm going to go through these in order, okay? Now, if you remember a second ago, the impressions, that was the first one. So if your impressions are low, and impressions are how many times your ad is shown, okay? Just shown on the page. So if that's too low, some of the reasons for that could be that your budget is too low, okay? You're not paying enough to be shown. You're targeting a limited geographic area. So you're targeting a very small area. There's not that much search volume to capture in the first place. Or it could be that you have a low quality score. And quality score is made up of these three things: low ad relevance. So the searches you're showing up for aren't what you're selling. So people aren't clicking on your ad. You have a low expected click-through rate. I'm going to go over that in a second. And you have a bad landing page experience. So basically what this is if you have a history of having a bad ad that does not get clicked on, Google isn't going to show your ad. They're going to favor someone else who is also bidding on those keywords. They're going to show them in that spot instead of you. So like I said, few people clicked, and now Google shows it less often because they know it's not going to get clicked. It's not going to make them any money, so they're not going to favor your ad. So that's the impressions. Now, what if your impressions are fine? It seems fine, but your clicks are low. You're not getting enough clicks. So it could be that you have bad ad copy. So what your ad actually says, we are whoever's painting. Click here for a free estimate. Call us now. The words that are actually on the ad, that could be bad. Like not like very compelling. You're not convincing people to click and go with you, basically. And I made a video on this, by the way, how to write Google Ads. You can search for it on my channel. The other thing could be that your ad is just too small on the page, and you're not using these things called extensions. I also made a video on this. Basically, extensions are these things that you can use to make your ad bigger. It's basically more words that you can write, more features and benefits about your product, and that's going to make your ad bigger on the page and more likely to get clicked on. And so if you're not getting enough clicks, it could be that your ad is just small because you're not using the extensions. And the other thing is that you're showing up for bad searches. And I've made videos on the right keywords to target and how to use negative keywords as well so you don't show up for bad searches. And what I mean by bad searches is you don't want your ad showing up for things like, how much does paint cost, or painting jobs near me, things like that. If you're getting low clicks, then that could be the reason. All right, next is your click-through rate. Your click-through rate is how many clicks you're getting out of 100 impressions. So out of 100 times that your ad is shown, how many times is it getting clicked on? And this is shown as a percentage. I made a video on this. I think I mentioned it in the ad copy video. You want to have like above 3%. Try to get 5 and above. That's even better. It's very similar to clicks. So maybe you have no call to action. You're not saying anything on the ad about what you want people to do or what they get. So call now, get a free estimate. We're open, immediate calendar openings, something like that. But you need to have a call to action that tells people what to do. Call now, get a free estimate, book now, things like that. So you want to work that into your ad copy, like I said, the words that are actually in the ad. The next one is if your cost per click is high. Now this varies by the industry and by the area, and even within the same industry, obviously. So keep that in mind. What's high in one area could be low in yours. So you might not be using a cost per click bid limit. Now this is something you can do inside Google Ads, where you basically tell it, I don't want to pay more than this for a click. And I made a video on how to decide your budget. I should have linked it here, but you can find it on my channel. And you can use that to figure out your cost per click bid limit. And obviously you have to make sure that these numbers make sense for your business. The other thing is, like I said, depends on the area and the market. Maybe there's just high competition. The other thing is you could have a low quality score. Low quality score, I mentioned it before, it's low ad relevance, low expected click-through rate, and bad landing page experience. So basically, if your ad isn't that good, you're going to be charged higher for each click. Next is if your conversions or your conversion rate is low. So after you get these impressions, you get these clicks, you get people seeing your ad and clicking on it, how many of them are actually converting, either filling out your form or calling you? And if that's low, if that's not where you want it, you feel like you're wasting money, then you might be using a website instead of a landing page. Okay, I made a video on this, but the landing page is basically just made for the ads. It's not like your website. There's no outbound links. Your website is just too busy. There's too much writing, too much content. You want to, with a landing page, you want to get the idea across about what it is that you do and what you want people to do next, like the next step to take. So you'll have a lot of like call now, get a free estimate buttons, a lot more than you would in your actual website. So like I said, that's separate from your website. I made a video on that. It's difficult to get in touch. So a lot of websites that you land on, you might have to scroll for a bit to actually find their form or to find a button where you can call them or to actually see a phone number in the first place. And some websites, you probably have this experience where you click on the button that says get a free estimate and nothing happens. Like it doesn't take you to the form. It doesn't open up a form. It just does absolutely nothing. So you want to make sure that you're not having any problems like that. Like I said before, no clear call to action. Also inside the landing page, that's really important. And it could be that you have a slow load speed. So the thing is, if your website or wherever you're sending the traffic to doesn't open up quickly because it's too busy, maybe there's too many images, too many videos, too many things to load. And by the way, when I say slow, I mean like 5 seconds. You want it to load in like 3, like 1 to 3. That really affects conversion rates because people are just going to click off. So they're going to click on the ad and cost you money, okay? It's going to show up on your account that somebody clicked, but they're going to click off just as fast. So that's why that's really important. You don't want it to be too busy, like I said. Or maybe you've got no reviews and testimonials. I went over this more in the landing page video, but you want to have like social proof on your landing page. You want to show people that you're actually trusted in the community and that you do good work, and here's people vouching for you. So whether that's Google reviews or Facebook reviews or whatever it is, even screenshots of text messages between you and a client, it can go a long way. It's better than nothing. Then the last one is your search impression share. And then the last one is your search impression share. And search impression share, that's kind of like your market share of all the possible searches. And it basically means how many possible searches you could show up for. And it's usually given as not usually, it's a percentage. So if your search impression share is 40%, that means you're showing up for 40% of the searches that you could show up for. Now, if you're not showing up for enough, the reason for that could be maybe you have a low budget, okay? You're just not bidding enough. Like I said, you're not showing up for enough searches. Or you have a low ad rank, which has to do with your bid and your quality score, which I mentioned before. So basically, it's what I said before. If your ad isn't being shown, your search impression share is obviously going to be low. And if your ad isn't being shown, as I mentioned, it's because you have a low quality score. Google knows it's not going to be clicked on because historically it's had bad performance. So it's just not going to show you as much. That's the idea there. Now, if you remember on the image of the actual Google Ad account, there were a few other metrics that have to do with the search impression share. Just want to show you them real quick. So you've got the impression top percent. And like I said, that's given as a percentage, just like the search impression share as well. And what impression top percent means is what percent of your ads are showing up in the top 3 spots, okay? So you'll have a number for that. And impression absolute top percent is what percentage of the time you're showing up in the number 1 spot, not just the top 3. And then you have reasons for why you have lost impression share. How much of it is due to budget and how much of it is due to rank. So if it's due to budget, that means that you have space to scale. And I mentioned this in my budget video. But basically, when you have a lot of search impression share left to capture, that means you have runway to, sorry about that, you have runway to increase the spend, as long as you're getting a good return, and basically just, have your ads show up more often and get better results. And this one shows search impression share due to rank. Now that's due to factors that you can control where you don't have to increase the budget. So that's to do with your ad copy, your landing page experience, like I said, your quality score and everything that's included in that. Ad relevance. Relevance obviously just means you're not showing up for bad searches, like I mentioned. Low expected click-through rate. Again, it's basically the same thing. Make sure you're showing up for actual searches, not, Sherwin-Williams versus Beers or whatever. And like I said, focus on your landing page as well. Alright, that's everything I have for this video. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. But other than that, if you're having any trouble with this stuff, you want some help, you can get in touch on my website. I'll leave it linked in the top comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.